Here we are going to outline the initial stages of a research project. First, we begin with the research topic, for example, the learning of mathematics. This is followed by the research questions. Here we have outlined 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And they are in accordance with some guidance that were stated. There must be at least one single sample t-test, at least one correlation and linear regression, at least one independent sample t-test, and at least one chi-square test for no association. So for the at least one single sample t-test, the research question could be, for example, what is the average mathematics score of students? And that would be a quantitative variable. Mathematics score is quantitative because it's numerical. For at least one correlation regression, what is the correlation between study hours and mathematics score? Again, these variables are quantitative, score, and hours of study. For the at least one independent sample t-test, that would be 2 samples. Is there a difference in study hours between male and female students? Again, this is quantitative because study hours is numerical. And another one for that very same at least one independent sample t-test, is there a difference in mathematics score between male and female students? Again, this is quantitative because score is quantitative. And at least one chi-square test for no association, the research question could be, is there an association between gender and mathematics attitude? This is qualitative because gender is words and mathematics attitudes are words. So these variables are qualitative. And just to add another research question, which is not in that list, is a qualitative question. For example, how will the learning of mathematics help students in the future? Hypothesis. All research questions must have a possible or plausible answer without any research being done, any data being collected, and these are called the hypotheses. And there must be alignment. So each research question should have a hypothesis, a supposed answer to it. So let's go to the first research question. Which is, what is the average mathematics score of students? So this research question, to ensure alignment, you can simply highlight and copy. And paste as this first hypothesis. And what you can simply do is devise a plausible answer. This is what is the average mathematics score of students. So you can simply delete the what is and start by saying the average mathematics score of students, you can say is above 75%, for example. So this could be a hypothesis for that first research question. So let's go to the second research question. Repeat the same. What is the correlation between study hours and mathematics score? We simply copy this. Or we can simply copy all the others and do the necessary modification as hypotheses to speed things up. So here we have pasted the remaining research questions. So all we need to do is to modify them as hypotheses, plausible answer, or educated guess, as some text might propose. So for the second one, we have the correlation between study hours and mathematics score is strong, positive. Let's go to the third one. We can just modify it, take or delete the is, and just start with there is. Or there is a difference between study hours and between male and female students, and just simply delete The question mark, the plus. Is there a difference in mathematics score between male and female students? You can put there isn't. Yeah, or there is a. Number 3 and number 4, there is not. Number 5, is there an association? And basically say there is. Or you can say there is not, it's up to you. All right, you are given a possible answer. And for number 6, how will the learning of mathematics help students in the future? You can say there are many factors because this is a qualitative question. So you can say there are many factors. Okay. Several factors affecting the mathematics. Or helping students learn. After the hypothesis comes the research objectives. These are the what to do's. What is going to be done? Okay, to answer the research question, what are we going to do? So these must begin with verbs to analyze, to discuss, to calculate, to determine, etc. Again, we can copy and paste and modify to ensure alignment. Now, each research objective have to begin with a verb. So for the average mathematics score of students is above 75%. What are we going to do? We are going to determine the average mathematics score of students. For the second one, we can say to analyze the correlation between study hours and mathematics students. Study hours and mathematics score, sorry. For the further one, we could say to investigate, all right, the study hours between male and female students. For number 4, likewise, we can also repeat the word investigate, okay? The mathematics score between male and female students. Number 5, we can repeat the word to analyze the association between, gender and mathematics attitude. Number 6, you can say to study the factors that help students learn mathematics in the future. Now, after your research objectives are completed, then we can move to formulate the questionnaire. All right. We know what we are going to do. We need the data so that we can accomplish our goal, which is to finally answer the research questions. So therefore, now we are going to use the variables in the research objectives, which of course came from the research questions to formulate the questionnaire. Again, we copy and paste so we can identify all the variables needed. And we start with the first one. The variable there is score. So we're going to ask students, what is your mathematics score? But we need the score to determine the average mathematics score. Yes. By now, we must establish what population we are targeting to collect our sample. Who are the students we are going to question? Okay. Who are we going to survey? So therefore, we are basically looking at our population of DSC students. That could be for this research, or population could be the population of DSC students. And from that population, we are going to collect the sample by questioning, by surveying, a certain number of students, which is called a sample. It could be 30, it could be 100, it could be 90. Okay, 30 is more or less the minimum, okay, for a typical research project. So the second one, the variables are, we already have mathematics score. So study hours is the next variable. What, how many hours do you typically study for mathematics, for example? So for so for number 3 and 4, we already have question. We already asked them the study hours. We already asked them the mathematics score. What we need is their gender, okay, and their mathematics attitude and factors. So gender, mathematics attitude, and factors. These are the 3 other variables needed to complete the questionnaire. So as you can see, is the hypotheses or the research question or the objectives that are used to identify the variables, which of course is needed to complete your questionnaire, and then you can go to collect your data. So having completed your questionnaire, you can now go to survey the students, and bearing in mind your population, for example, is the DSC students. And from that, you can take a sample out of the 1,000 plus students, take a sample of 100 or 30, etc. And then comes statistics now. Well, statistics actually starts with the collection of the data. So there are different ways to collect the data. You can collect it online, you can go physically with your questionnaire, and all of the statistics is involved now. And when the data is collected, then it has to be processed, and then you will need statistics. And as we know, statistics is now needed to facilitate the manipulation of the data collected on each variable. And there are 2 definitions basically for statistics. It can be viewed as a process, as a verb of or task of starting with the collection of data and to organize, represent, and to numerically analyze the data to make informed decisions. And as a noun, the numerical values calculated on a sample. All right. So when you analyze the sample, the numbers you have calculated are called statistics. Okay. Equally important, statistics begins with the collection of the data right up to the informed decision making.